Every time you kind of come to a place like this, there's always something surreal about it. It's an overwhelming sense of emotion that comes out during just observing, just feeling and understanding history and seeing all the things that have happened. It's worth a visit if you haven't been.
Too short to get it all right. First time around, you better not mess up. Wanna be born again, I want a second chance, 'cause this time around worth the fight. Heaven or hell, oh, you better not mess up. Been through enough fire, I've heard all the lies, but this time around.
Anzac Day is what Australians and New Zealand celebrate like their Remembrance Day, remembering the people who died in World War I and World War II and all the wars that we actually have been part of. And it's a very special, important day. And you look at the men and women who had died during these wars, they might not have known the true purpose of why they were in the war, but they had a calling. And a lot of them sacrificed their lives for that calling. And the impact that they leave behind is us. You know, the impact that they leave behind is for all the viewers who are watching this, and for me to be able to do the things I'm able to do, and the freedom we actually have, the ability for us to be able to create and live in the world that we live in is because of the sacrifices of those people. And we must not forget about that. Most of them didn't even live to be able to see the impact that they were left behind. They didn't see the impact that they were able to create for us. It's a constant quest of searching for the purpose of life. The best analogy I ever heard is an analogy of the bumblebee. What do you think a bumblebee thinks its purpose is? The purpose of a bumblebee is to collect nectar and make honey. The bumblebee will live in its whole entire life not knowing that its true purpose on this world and in this universe is to actually spread pollen and to cross-pollinate plants and create the beauty that we actually see and we take for granted every single day. The flowers that we see is a representation of all the effects of the bumblebee. But the bumblebee would never know that that was his purpose of life. But oftentimes we forget that sometimes you may go through your whole entire life not knowing what your true purpose of life is. And that you got to be okay with that.
You may not know necessarily your whole entire purpose, but having a sense of direction helps guide you to ensure that you actually move forward in some sort of direction that will serve you in some way.
I'll show you one more analogy. See the boats behind me? When they start taking off and they start driving, they focus on some direction. Doesn't matter what direction it is, they're just feeling a true north. When you're going after your purpose, or when you're actually going in the direction of what you think the purpose is, once in a while you look back, you can see the wake behind the boat. And if you watch the wake actually hit the shoreline, that's the impact that you make to the world. But if you're in the middle of the ocean, you're not going to be able to see that. Sometimes that impact is perpendicular to your vision. You never know that it might have a trickle effect, inspired someone, one child, and that child becomes the next prime minister, the next president, or they might, create something that saves the world. When you're doing something that's impactful, when you're doing something you just feel is right within you, all of a sudden you leave a wake. And knowing that you're leaving a wake behind, knowing that what you're doing is worthwhile and it leaves a wake of impact, I think that's living a fulfilled and worthy life.